Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, continuing our series on get home bags, what I was just showing you was my mobile shelter system, also my mobile sleep system. In a get home bag, you do not want to think along the lines of a tent or a heavy oilcloth tarp or even just a tarp. You want to think along the lines of you're trying to get home. For whatever reason, your vehicle's stranded, you're stranded, and you need to get home. You need a shelter system that you can wear that will keep you warm, will keep you dry, will keep you safe. I went over the whole kit with you guys in a couple videos. Go back and check those out on the get home kit, building a get home bag. An extra pair of socks. For me, heavy wool is the best. They give me nice padding under my feet. They give me another layer of warmth. If it's summertime, so be it. But they keep my feet warm, comfortable, dry. And if I have to stay the night, it gives me a chance to double up. And if my feet get wet, I have something dry to change into. The hat. It is cold out here this morning. It was, about 28 degrees? I can still see my breath. A little bit. A cap, a wool cap, something to keep your neck, your ears warm that you can pull down if you need to, and keep your extremities, your feet, your head, neck, and your hands warm and dry while you're on the move. You don't want to get cold. You don't want to get frostbite. You don't want to get hypothermia. We have an S.O.L heat sheet. I just did a video on this a few days ago. Go back and check it out. Why it is so very, very important to have the right gear. An S.O.L heat sheet and not a cheap mylar blanket. I showed you how to make this into an emergency poncho and why where the other one literally could fall apart when you need it, this one will hold together and save your life. This is the exact same one. So go back and check that video out. I'm not going to remake the poncho today, but it's an essential piece of gear. And I have chosen a Swagman roll. I think it is one of the best options out there. The only other option really is there are some people making wool ponchos, which are very warm and you can use against a fire, but they will soak up the moisture and you will carry that weight and that wetness with you, where this is quite water resistant. Right now I've got it zipped up. I'm pretty big, so it's very snug, but it can be used as a blanket. Again, if I have to stay, we're talking shelter on the move. So for shelter on the move, pause you guys for a second. Okay, for shelter on the move, Swagman roll is fantastic. Itself is water repellent. I did a video review on this where I put a water bag in a tree with like a shower head on it, and the water would just run off this. So if it's just light sprinkle, but it's chilly, like this morning, I don't need to go to my regular poncho. I can put this on and stay warm. I've got a whole nother layer of insulation on me. And it can be used as a blanket. It can be used like a sleeping bag. It's got all these different buckles to put around you. Now there's another one so that I can put it around the other way. But for me, at my size, it's just a little bit tight that way. So I prefer to just buckle the one here, and that keeps it secure against my body, gives me armholes, and I can tuck my hands down inside. And quickly I have them out. And there's just so many different ways to use this. Okay, so go back again and check out the video. If it is miserably cold out here, I can put this on first. You saw in that video how I cut a slit in this and put it on as a poncho. I can put the reflective S.O.L heat sheet inside this, reflecting and trapping heat not close to my body. Then put the Swagman roll over the top of that. And that, if I have the right clothing and stuff, I am probably good. But let's say I'm on the move or having to, you know, take a rest break, and it is just a downpour and it is cold. Again, inner layer, mid layer, outer layer. Again, I'll put the brand of poncho in the description because I talked about, this is a Miltec. There you go. This is a Miltec. It is heavier. It does weigh more. You're going to be able to carrying, you know, an extra quarter to a half a pound over some of the cheap ponchos. But this thing makes a very solid, secure shelter, and you can reef and put tons of pressure on these grommets and they're not going to tear. So has a nice big roomy hood for my head. And then again, you know, I got one side buttoned up and one side unbuttoned, but I button up the sides. And I have the places for my arms. This one I haven't buttoned yet. So I now have my clothing with a reflective blanket that's made into a poncho, the Swagman roll, and a heavy Miltec poncho. Okay, I am very good. Walking home in a rainstorm may not be very comfortable, but I have the way to stay dry and very warm. And then when time comes, I need to take a break. You know, I'm going to try to find a tree to sit down under, some type of shelter to block some of the rain, but I am going to be comfortable in this. And I've got my reflective pad to sit on to insulate me from the ground or to sleep in. Now, if it's not raining or if it's just sprinkling, maybe I want to rig this up into a little plow point or A-frame, and with my Swagman roll and reflective blanket on top of my reflective pad, which is a part of my kit. Go back and check out again the full videos on building your get home bag. You know, I have a great shelter system, a great overnight system. If it is pouring down rain and I just want to keep this whole setup on, I'm going to still look for some thick trees, some brush, something to at least get some of the rain off so it's not pounding on me, and I'm still going to stay warm and dry underneath this. I can also get a fire going. I'm not going to try to get a big fire, or probably, unless I'm trying to signal for help, because these materials, the disadvantage is the embers from the fire could easily put holes in these. But I would still probably, unless it was pouring down rain and just going to put it out, I'd put me up a small fire for warmth and comfort. And you know, this system is just so nice. It's so nice. And you got your zipper here. Let's see. So let's say I'm going to shelter up under a tree. In fact, let's go do that. Okay, I have found some trees to shelter up under. I'm walking home. I either just need some time to rest, to rehydrate, extremely important. There's a small creek down here. So to my right is a small creek. To my left is the road that I'm walking home on. So I walked from the road down here to the creek. That way I can use my water filtration system and fully hydrate, refill my water bottle, refill my S.O.L bag if I need to, have 3 liters, actually more than that, of water to carry when I get back out. But I just need some time. So I'm going to get back here up under these trees. I'm going to get some partial coverage if it's raining. I'm going to hydrate, probably eat one of those Millennium bars, 410 calories, get some energy in my system, rest my legs for a bit. Okay, I'd have my poncho on if it was raining over this. And, you know, just get some partial coverage up here under these trees and get out of the wind, get out of the rain for a little bit while I hydrate and eat. If I am going to stay the night. Well, this huge tree here, and I can go on pretty much at least 3 sides of it, is a great wind block. I can get out of the wind. If the rain stops, I can build a little fire and I have slept leaning up against the tree on my reflective pad, lean up against the tree, take a little nap, the night, keep a little fire going, whatever. Now, one thing, I'm going to add one more tip to this. As I said, and I deliberately chose this area, this is one of the roads that I travel out here in the mountains all the time. And it is very close to one of the roads that I got stranded on and was in a get home situation. It is a blessing that most of the major roads out here parallel creeks. So just turning you guys around. Right down here, not more than 50 yards from the road, I've got a nice little stream running and places to refill my canteen and to hydrate. Okay, we walk back up the hill, and right up there at the top of this little hill is the road. So the area I'm in is extremely visible from the road. And that is one final tip I want to give you guys. When you're walking home, if you're trying to get rescued, now if you're trying to stay unseen for whatever reason, you know, civil unrest, whatever, that's a different story. Then you would want to get farther off the road, probably not have a fire at all, and just stay unseen. But where I would be walking home from the woods like I was that one day, I wanted to be seen and I wanted help, and I eventually got it. I eventually flagged over a vehicle after quite a bit of walking, several miles behind me, and they were able to use their winch to get me unstuck, and I was able to get home safely. So if you are wanting to get rescued, if you are wanting to get help, don't get too far off the road unless it's just for some reason is impossible. You're on a bridge or something, but don't get too far off the road. Stay close enough to the road that if a vehicle comes, you can quickly get up to the edge of the road, wave for help, be seen. If you're going to have a fire, like right here is perfect. I'm no more than 40 to 50 yards from the road. People could not drive by without seeing the flames of my fire. In fact, I would move up a little bit closer to some other trees and have my fire probably just 15, 20 feet off the edge of the road. Any vehicles come down here at night, I'm having to spend the night, I'm sleeping, they're going to see me, they're going to see my fire, and when me waving my arms, they're going to say, "What's up? What's going on?" Normal response out here. "Hey, I'm stranded, my vehicle broke down, can you help me?" Most people are going to say absolutely. No cell coverage, but they might go down the road for you and call the sheriff's office. Search and rescue comes out and gets you, or they themselves will give you a ride, or in my case, take me back up and winch out my vehicle. Anyway, Dan at S.O.L Bushcraft. And again, when you're doing a get home bag, you need to think in different terms than say your bug out bag or your survival kit, where you might be thinking tents and tarps and stationary shelter systems, long-term shelter systems. You need a mobile shelter system, and mobile sleep system, preferably all in one to save on weight and space in your kit. Take care, stay safe. Hope you guys are being blessed by these videos. Be back with another one soon.